All right, everyone, I wanted to take this video as an opportunity to tell you guys about a particular item that you really might be interested in spending your loyalty on with this event that we have going on. And even if you guys are watching this video later on in the future and this event is over, this is definitely something you're going to want to know. It's valuable information, and I was actually really surprised. The reason why I wanted to make this into a video is this was brought up in a discussion on the Twitch stream, and a lot of people didn't really understand this item. They didn't understand how it works, and a lot of people are very confused why it has the potential to be very good and valuable. And I'll just tell you at a glance here, just clicking this item very simply and doing your normal daily routine has the potential to make you over 300 million silver from just this one item, and you don't even really have to do anything extra besides click it. That's how good it is. And it's got the potential for even more than that if you are really efficient and put it to even more use. So you won't see it here at the very top because, of course, with the weekly reset, I already bought it. There's a weekly limit of 1, and I plan on probably getting a couple more as well because that is how good it is. Now, what I want to talk about is this item that's in the loyalty shop right now, the Stella's Spirit Stone. Now, this item is a spirit stone, so it has 50 uses for one of these spirit stones, just like most spirit stones, like the ones that you get from Polly's Forest. Same thing, right? It's got 50 uses, and once you use it all, it does run out, and you cannot recharge it. However, 50 uses is quite a bit, especially considering one thing in particular that you end up getting from the spirit stone that is incredibly valuable. And I'll tell you that there's all these effects that you get from it. You can see there, and the really important one is the very last one right there, and that's the 100 life skill mastery. Now, at first glance, especially if you're newer to the game, or if you really haven't done much life skilling at all, you might be like, 100 life skill mastery? That's not really a whole lot. Like, why is that a big deal? Well, it's definitely a big deal. 100 life skill mastery is quite a bit. People grind billions and billions of silver to upgrade their Manosphere to get, 100 life skill mastery or whatnot. So it makes a big difference for life skilling, and it makes a huge difference for a couple of things in particular. And I want to draw attention to just one of them in this video. I will say, though, that there's many other uses for this 100 life skill mastery boost that you're going to get from this spirit stone. But this is the one that I just know off the top of my head where instantly, without really any extra effort, you can use the spirit stone, just click a button, and make 300 extra million silver from doing your normal stuff just by using this spirit stone. And that's going to be from your Imperial Cooking and your Imperial box turn-ins. So with Imperial boxes, you are going to end up turning these in, and you can turn 1 in for every 2 contribution points you have. I don't want to get too into detail because this video isn't really about Imperial Cooking. It's more about this item in particular. If you are already turning in your Imperial boxes, if you're already into cooking, you know that it's a really nice way to make a good chunk of money. Semi-AFK, you don't really have to put in a lot of work. It's not 100% passive because you do still have to pack up your boxes, but it's pretty darn easy money compared to a lot of the other stuff out there in the game. And I'm guessing a good amount of you guys are probably already doing your Imperial Cooking and your Imperial box turn-ins. So if you don't know, the Imperial turn-ins have a boost that you end up getting based off of your cooking mastery. So if we take a look here at the actual cooking mastery chart, there is a boost to the amount of silver that you end up getting from your Imperial box turn-ins based off of the mastery that you have. And of course, you end up getting a lot of other boosts to your cooking as well from mastery. So like I said, this is just one of the many uses where you can really put that 100 extra mastery to good use, and it's a lot more than you think. And I want to tell you exactly how much it is. Like I said, 300 million silver is about what you're looking at making at a minimum from this spirit stone if you put it to full use. 50 charges, it's not rechargeable, but 50 charges at 10 minutes each, you should be able to turn in all of your Imperial boxes in 10 minutes or less, and you might even be able to be super efficient and do some other stuff with it as well before that timer runs out. So now, when it comes to the Imperial Cooking and the Imperial Cooking Silver right here, you get a boost based off of your mastery, and I'll tell you guys exactly how much it is here. So if we look at the various different Imperial boxes, let's look at the Guru ones. This is obviously the one that you're going to want to aim to try to turn in because it has the potential for the highest profits simply from your mastery. This is one of the ones where at first glance, if you look at how much you make from it, turning it in with 0 mastery and how much it actually costs to make these boxes, you might be like, wait a second, this doesn't seem as good as I thought. It's not until you factor in the extra silver that you get from your mastery where you start to actually see why these boxes are really, really good. And it's that bonus silver on a really high base price here that makes all the difference. So you're looking at 800,000 silver. Now, the bad news is, unfortunately, when it comes to the Imperial Cooking Silver bonus, it's not going to be a percentage of that 800,000. It's a little bit confusing, and I'll say when I was newer to the game and I was first looking this stuff up, I was like super confused by this. But basically, the way that it works is that your cooking boxes have a base price of 320,000 for the Guru ones. And if you go to a different one, it's basically all the boxes have like a permanent 250% multiplier. So it's 320,000 is the base price, and then it's actually 800,000 at a minimum, even with 0 mastery when you turn it in, because you have that 250% multiplier, and that applies to all the different boxes. So the percentage that you see here, the Imperial Cooking Silver turn-in, that is not off of the 800,000 price. That's off of the base price of 320,000. So it's not as good as, unfortunately, you might dream it to be, but it's still very, very good. And for these Guru boxes, it makes all the difference because Guru boxes become really good once you get a high mastery and you end up getting that bonus silver. If you turn in Guru boxes with 0 mastery, they're not even that great. It's actually probably better to turn it in a different box if you have absolutely no mastery at all. But looking at this right here, the Imperial Cooking Silver bonus, if we go and take a look at this chart, you'll notice that unlike a lot of other life skills, it's not 100% linear. It doesn't go up evenly every 100 mastery. It actually has these weird brackets and weird points where you get more benefit from 100 mastery than at other points. And you can see, like, starting off here, like the difference between 300 mastery and 400 mastery is like 5%, right? We go from 9.99 to 15.05. That's 300 mastery to 400. So now if we end up going to a higher mastery here, if we go to like 1100, right, you'll see that we go from 79.57% to 92.93. So that's a pretty big jump right there. That's 13.5% basically from the 1100 to the 1200 mastery bracket. And that's one that eventually you should be able to get to, especially if you're turning in Guru boxes. And the good news is that's also, I believe that is the most important one, because at that point, it actually strangely starts to drop off a bit. You can see that if you go from like 1200 to 1300 here, it goes from 92.93, and then the 1300 bracket is only 98.8. So you can see that it only actually gives you about a 6% jump from 1200 to 1300 versus the almost 13% jump that you end up getting from 1100 to 1200. So anywhere around 1000 up to 1100, like in that general range, that's where you're going to end up getting the absolute most benefit from that 100 extra mastery. And anything after still does give you a benefit, but it does actually start to drop off. Good news is most people probably aren't going to have that kind of crazy mastery, because cooking is very hard to get that kind of mastery for. But getting close to 1000 or so should be a possibility, at some point, especially once you get to Guru. Now that we have the numbers here, let's actually see how big of a difference that actually makes. Now, I threw out that number of about 300 million silver from this Spirit Stone if you put it to use for your Imperial turn-ins. You could even get more if you use it for other stuff, if you're really efficient with it. That's just from the Imperial turn-ins. But if we go from a profit of 79.57 to 92.93, let's actually do very basic math. Don't worry, not even as complicated as the last video. I know that was a little bit much, but it was very important, especially if you're ever interested in accessories or enhancing for profit. I didn't want to sugarcoat it. I didn't want to BS anybody and tell you, it's easy, because it's definitely not. So that was a pretty complicated video, but very basic for this one here. So we have a base price of 320,000, and it always has a permanent 250% boost. So you can see here that gives us that 800% number, and that is the absolute bare minimum that you end up getting from your Guru boxes, even if you have 0 masteries. So that's what that 250% boost. Now, if we were to do like a 1.85% bonus for 50 mastery, that's not 1.85% of the 800,000. It's 1.85% of the 320,000 base price. So it would be like 1.85 right there. And now, that 2% gives you, almost 6 million extra silver per Imperial turn-in. Okay, that's a boring one there. Let's go to the important one that we talked about, which is like the 1100 to 1200 range. So 1100 you have a bonus of 79.57. So let's go ahead and put that in, 79.57 right there. So every guru box that you turn in is going to end up giving you 1,054 million silver. Now, that's not all profit, of course, because you have to end up paying money to make the boxes. I think it costs around 500 to 550,000 in order to actually make a guru box. Obviously, it's going to depend on your server a little bit, but let's just say it takes you 550,000. You could see how Mastery makes all the difference. If you sell them at the base price of 800,000, you only actually get 250,000 profits, which is not the best. You're probably better off with the lower boxes at that point. But now if you have a bunch of Mastery, you go from 800,000 all the way up to 1,054,000. And now if your boxes cost you 550,000 each, you're actually making more than 500,000 profit per box. So you basically double your profit from 0 Mastery to 1,100 from Guru boxes, which is pretty crazy. So, this Spirit Stone is going to be a solid like 20% or so extra profit margin for your Guru turn-ins. All right, this is the 1,100 bracket. Let's go ahead and plug in the 1,200 bracket and compare the difference. So that was 79.57. Now we're going to do 92.93. So this is the number here for 1,100 Mastery. It was 92.93. So now we go from 1,054,000, we go up to 1,097. So that is a increase of 46 million silver per box, or 46,000 silver. Sorry, I might have been saying million, I mean thousand. 46,000 silver per box. So let's go ahead and find the exact difference here. 1,054,000. And so the exact amount extra that you get for every single Guru box that you turn in by getting 100 extra Mastery at 1,100 is 42,000 and 3/4. So almost 43,000 silver per box. Now, obviously, depending on how much contribution you have, that's going to determine how many boxes you turn in, but like 350 to 400 contribution is probably going to be the point that a lot of people end up at. So even if you have like 350 contribution, that's 175 boxes that you're going to be turning in, an extra 42.75 thousand silver per box. That's going to end up getting you 7.5 million silver extra every single day for just that 100 extra Mastery. This is just from that extra Mastery boost. And obviously, if you end up using this 50 times, because it has 50 uses on that Spirit Stone, that's going to end up getting you a total of 3,750,000 silver. So that's a pretty solid amount, or 375 million silver. That's the right number there. So almost 400 million silver for using the Spirit Stone 50 times efficiently. Now, obviously, not everyone's going to be at 1,100 Mastery. You might be a bit lower, so it could be more like 300 million or 250 million for you. But nonetheless, for simply doing one of the things that you might normally be doing anyway, and just clicking a button and making an extra almost 400 million from the Spirit Stone, that's pretty nice. Now, you could also, depending on how quickly you do your Imperial turn-ins, you could go ahead and maybe use the extra couple of minutes to actually do some cooking as well, get some extra efficiency from that. But it's a pretty darn good item for 2,000 loyalty. So definitely a big consideration that you want to make. I will definitely be buying into these. I don't know about every single week because I don't think I'm going to have enough loyalty for that, but I'll probably buy a couple more of these. And the great news is it's so flexible that, you don't have to use it right away. You can always wait until later on when you have higher Mastery. And the uses, the versatility, and the potential for profit from this is pretty darn nice for the cost of 2,000 loyalties. So I wanted to point it out. I wanted to put this out in more detail because we talked about it on the live stream today, and a lot of people were like really confused as to why it was good. A lot of people thought that you were going to be using it for like the gathering boost, which is probably not the best boost. I don't think you can make 400 million extra from gathering from this. Maybe you could find some other uses for it. I know there's some other life skills out there where 100 Mastery makes all the difference, and cooking is just one of them. This was just one example here, but 100 Mastery is pretty darn valuable. Like I said at the very start, people grind months to upgrade their Manosphere and spend billions and billions of silver to get 100 extra Mastery upgrades. So, having it on a Spirit Stone that you can buy for loyalty is a pretty big deal. So, Anyway, that's going to be about it for this video. I wanted to point this out. I hope that you guys enjoyed. And if you did and you guys are interested in checking out the live stream for all the fun enhancing and all that stuff that we do, we are live pretty much every single day except maintenance night at around 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Link in the description, twitch.tv/salt. YouTube is more about informative content like this. I try to get into detail with stuff. Twitch is more about having fun, enhancing, gambling, all that sort of stuff. Every day is basically 10 billion plus silver worth of enhancing. So check it out. But if not, until next time, have a good one. And I'll see y'all later.